Production.
I'm just gonna record you so we can.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
It's gonna go on my YouTube channel. So.
Okay, awesome, cool. Well, welcome to your new trailer. This is Royce Industries in Las Vegas, 11 West Brooks Avenue. A little free pop there.
There you go.
I like it.
So we have some things that we normally, like a script that we go through, but I'm just kind of using this so I don't forget something that's maybe important. I just want to show you some safety things and the how-to. Okay. You know, so you know what to do in the field and what not to do.
Okay, gotcha.
So this is your surface cleaner. We'll go over that in a little bit. I just had it there staged so it looked good, but I'm gonna move it out of the way.
It sure does.
Looks great, right?
Yeah.
If you ever put it against the wall, try to stand it up as high as you can.
Okay.
Otherwise it will slide out.
Perfect.
So PPE, let's go over PPE first. Personal protective equipment. I never ever operate a pressure washer without 3 things. Gloves, glasses,
Steel toes.
steel toes. Now you can do what you want. But when you get hurt, just remember, he said we're
Rick told us.
Can you guess what the #1 injury is on a pressure washer usage? Take a swing.
I'm gonna say the tip.
No, you.
Oh,
Like if you were to get injured,
You're-
what is the #1
The
injury?
boot. A steel-toed boot, like a
Nice
foot
try for
injury.
Putting your hand in front of it.
The hands is what it is.
Dang!
So it's not from doing that. I
Okay.
hope you never do that.
Yeah.
So the #1 injury for pressure washers is the hands. So you're going to be working a lot with that hose. You're going to have that hose pulled out long distance, and you're going to be doing all kinds of stuff. That hose is going to be going all over the ground. And there's 3 layers that make up a hose. There's the inner layer, then a wire mesh layer, and then the outer layer. What happens is as the hose hits the ground and it rubs and rubs and rubs, eventually that middle layer, which is the braids, get exposed. And then you are back here with your hose reel, you're doing this, and you're pulling the hose like this, and you're going, and then it breaks right through your hand. Wear gloves.
Copy.
Simple. Wear gloves. So basically, this thing is a tool. Treat it as such. Over the wand here in a minute, right here. Treat that like it's a gun, and we'll go over that in a little bit here, and I'll explain why. Don't stand up on ladders and pull the trigger. This
Okay.
is, common sense safety things, right? It'll knock you off balance. I mean, this thing is
Okay, cool.
If you pull that trigger, it's going to do this a little, and we don't want you falling off the ladder. Just think before you do something, just pre-plan and think. You can go up the ladder and pull the trigger, but think about it before you do. Go up that ladder, prepare yourself for that. You don't want to
brace.
both hands like this, and you pull it and you throw yourself off balance. Just things like that.
Cool.
The steel-toed boots, the reason you do that is you're doing a lot of this, and you don't want to hit your foot with that an inch away because it will
Go through my shoes.
Yeah. So that is a good segue to this gun.
The VP wand.
The VP wand, which is variable pressure. Take a guess, both of you. I'm sure you'll get this. Why is this the length that it is? This whole thing. Why is it?
I'm gonna assume because of the 2 double attachments.
The PSI
Nope.
pressure.
You only get one guess. Nope. So you can't go like this and try to drink out of it.
Ah.
This is a UL certified
Hi, good morning,
gun.
Jason.
Yeah, this is a UL certified gun, which means it has to meet certain very strict, stringent requirements, and one of them is that it has to be physically long enough
You did
where
a
you
great
cannot
job.
go like this and pull the trigger. And I'm going to show you why.
People do that?
Yeah.
Yes, they do. I'm going to show you why. These are pressure washer injuries. If you try to drink out of this, it will blow your cheek wide open.
Oh my God.
If you put your hand in front of the wand, it will blow a hole in your hand.
So this guy obviously
He tried to take a drink. So a pressure washer is like a light switch. It is on or it is off. There is no warming up. There's no in between. Okay?
Okay.
When you pull that trigger, it's going 4,000 PSI, 4 ounce a minute the second it comes out. It doesn't warm up.
That's scary.
So if you are in the field and you're thirsty and you figure some way to manage and go like this and you think you're just going to push it a little bit and get a little sip of water, it's going to literally blow your cheek out.
No.
That's why that is the length that it is so you cannot physically pull the trigger and take a drink out of it. Now you can figure it out, put your foot there, but I'm telling you, if you do it, you're going to remember me. Do not try to do
Be
that.
thirsty.
Treat this thing like it's a loaded gun. Don't ever point it at anybody. Don't goof around with it. Don't play with it.
Okay.
The reason why is this thing is under high pressure. Now, I'm not going to say the company because you're videotaping it and people watch it, and I don't want any issues. But
I can edit and cut.
yeah, but there's a company here in town, and now, granted, their machines are a lot stronger. They're like 8 gallons a minute. This is 4, but they're still very powerful. Take these things seriously. Just treat this like it's a weapon. Treat it like you would treat a weapon, and you'll be okay. So there were some guys out in the yard. Now, in this story, it's true. The machine was off. That's important to the story. So the machine was not being operated. And there were 2-3 guys standing around in this lot, and the one guy picked up the gun. They were getting ready to do some stuff. And there was another guy standing over there, and he bent over to pick something up. And the guy that was holding the gun, while the other guy was bent over, took the gun like this and pulled the trigger. Now, again, the gun was off. But the last person that used the machine previous to that did not depressurize it. And so when he went like this and he pulled that trigger, that dude that was bent over got 8 gallons a minute in a single shot. It was like getting shot with a gun. And it went in his backside and it came out the front of his stomach. He had to have surgery. Yes, he had to have surgery. They took out part of his intestines and he has a colostomy bag the rest of his life.
Oh my God.
Because some idiot went like this and pulled the trigger on him and literally shot him with water. Yeah. Yeah, it's extremely powerful. If you treat this thing seriously and treat it with respect, you will never have an issue. But keep that in mind. This can really hurt you.
Okay.
Never. Let's get to a little bit more fun stuff. This is the VP1, the variable pressure. You have this one as a backup. It's single rail. If this fails and you're out in the field, just keep this with you. Just unbolt it, unscrew it here, and put that one in. You'll be back in business. Now, you won't have soap like you do now, but you'll not be down. Now, one thing I'll caution you about, this thing is very fragile right here. And we're going to go over this when we fire it up. When you want to introduce soap, all you do is you turn this, see, and the soap will come out. Okay? When you're done, you turn it back, and the soap goes off. It's awesome. That's why you need this gun. The problem is people think it's a motorcycle handle, and they crank it. They over crank it. And what happens is it's very fragile inside here. And once you do that, and it breaks, there's no repair kit. You can't fix it. It's trash. This here, this just the one, not the gun, because you can keep it. This one is $149. So when you break this, it just costs you $149 plus tax because you have to get a new one. Now you should still be able to use it in the field, but you won't be able to introduce soap. So just be very careful when you're turning this. Just as soon as you feel pressure, just stop. Don't over crank it and tighten it. People go through these all the time because they don't listen in the training. That's why I'm glad you're videotaping it. You can go back and watch it later.
Oh, I'm going to edit and everything, so I get to see it.
Make sure you don't, this is not a motorcycle handle. Do not over crank this. Okay, so, and we'll go over this once we fire it up and all that stuff. 225 gallon tank. You have an overflow right here. So typically, this is awesome. We love doing this like this. Typically with the pressure washer, when you are off the trigger, like the machine is running, but you're off the trigger, the water circulates through the machine and it just sits there waiting for you. And when you pull the trigger again, it shoots it out and now you get cool water coming in. So even though this is a cold water machine, that water, when it's circulating through there, there's friction and pressure and it gets hot. So you don't want to let the machine just run being off the gun for a long period of time because it'll overheat that pump and you'll be back in here for service. But what we've done is modified the machine. When you are now off the gun, that water gets rerouted back to the tank. So cold water is constantly being fed into your machine. Awesome. So the pump will not overheat. So if you're doing something, maybe you're on a job site and you're firing away and you're doing concrete and you need to move like a big cement picnic table or something. And you put the gun down and you're over there picking it up, moving it, you can just let it keep running because it's putting all the hot water here and it's getting constantly fed with cold water. So you don't want to run, like 8 straight hours like that, but you don't have to worry about the machine overheating if you leave it for 2-3 minutes off the gun while it's running because we bypassed you here. Okay?
Awesome.
So we have a filter right here. Okay. It just screws like this. You give it a half screw and it pops off. It's just a mesh net. Okay. What you'll want to do is you have a shut-off valve right here. You'll want to shut the valve off like this, so it cuts off your tank. Okay. Because your water's flowing this way. You would shut this off and then pull this off. So if you ever get any kind of debris in here, that filter should catch it before it goes into your machine.
Awesome.
So say you lose the top because you don't tighten it down enough, because people do this, and then you're flying down the freeway and it flies off, and this breaks and it flies off, and now you got an open exposed tank and some leaves or dust or something goes in there. That filter should catch it.
Oh, cool.
So if you ever experience a little bit of low pressure, if you're on a job and you're like, man, the pressure's just not what it should be, there might be something in that filter clogging it up.
Okay.
So shut off your ball valve, give that a half turn, pull it out, empty what's in there out, put it back, open the ball valve, and then fire the machine back up.
Awesome.
Okay? The white one right there, the white pail, that's 40 pounds of Landa L995. That is concrete cleaner only. Okay? The way that you do it is you get the surface just a little bit wet. You don't need to drench it. You just need to get it a little bit wet. You're going to take that and sprinkle it around a little bit. Okay? Don't use your hands. Get a scooper or like a paper cup or something.
Okay.
Do this and then take like a shop broom, like, you know, the typical shop broom, and just kind of move it around a little bit.
Good morning, man. How you doing?
And then cut that out. And then,
You hate it so much.
so you get the ground a little bit wet.
Have
you
a good
put a little
day.
bit of sprinkle around, and you'll learn how much
Okay.
you need to use. You don't want to use too much and waste it, but you don't want to use too little and it's not effective. So it's orange originally, and once it hits that water, it starts activating and it'll turn green. Wait for it to turn green.
Okay.
When it turns green, hit it with your surface cleaner or hit it with your pressure washer, whatever. You should use a surface cleaner because that's for cement. So you use it to put the stuff down, let it turn green, let it sit there for a couple minutes, and then hit it with that, and then you can rinse it with the pressure washer, and you're all set. You can do a whole driveway in about 15 minutes, and then charge them, you know, however much you want, $200 or whatever you do.
Yeah, we're gonna be running specials, so
That's
In the
right.
beginning, just to
That's right.
really
Like the shirts, by the way.
repetition.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Like mesh, they're very cool.
This is our rough draft.
Yeah.
But I want to get something like
Yeah,
that.
get these.
We just wanted to wear them so you can see them.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's very cool.
Thank you.
So then the other one is Power Steam, the 5-gallon bucket there. That is a degreaser and soap combo.
Okay.
You can use that on any surface. I wouldn't use it on concrete because you have true concrete cleaner and you have surface cleaner. That would be for any kind of metal. If you're doing hoods in a kitchen, maybe. If you're washing a car, it's perfect for that. You know, if you want to wash your car at the end of the day, just
Like a house cleaner.
Yeah.
How about RVs?
RV, perfect.
Cool.
If you're doing RVs, yeah, that right there. This is strictly cement.
Okay.
It's only for cement. Don't try to use it on a car. It might be too abrasive. Yeah, oil stains, stuff like that. But it's abrasive. Don't use it on don't throw it in a bucket. Yeah, well, it won't eat it away, but it's abrasive. It might scratch it. This one is for anything else. Anything else you're trying to clean. My Calvin, our company owner, he uses it in his laundry. I mean, you can literally use it for everything.
Oh,
you
cool.
can use it to wash dishes. You just you cut down the concentration. You don't use it straight.
Okay.
How about for pool surfaces?
You can use it for literally anything like
Okay.
that. Yeah,
So
yeah.
would that be preferred, the concrete cleaner for a pool decking,
anything that's
or?
on the ground? I would use the 995.
Okay,
If
995.
You're doing tile work. You're doing pavers. You're doing concrete. You're doing blacktop. Anything, a parking structure, anything at all, 995.
995.
But if you're doing anything above the ground, you want to go for that.
Okay.
And yes, you can use it for cleaning houses, garage doors, garage windows, all that
cool.
stuff. Okay. Now,
Awesome.
speaking of windows, this is spot-free water. We have a 2,000-gallon tank. Any one of our customers can come in here anytime they want and fill up. You don't need an appointment. And then you've got your overflow up here. This is water coming back into the tank when you're off the gun, but the machine is running. Got 2 tank bands that hold it down. You can fill it right here. Sometimes we would put a second hose reel with a garden hose, and then it just automatically goes up here. But we're not doing that because you're not going to do that. So you're just going to fill here. Make sure you tighten it down before you leave, because when you're not today, because it's tight, but it vibrates and it will spin and it'll eventually fly off on the 15. So your ball valve here, your filter, and it's just literally a half turn and it'll pop right out. Make sure you don't lose the little rubber seal that goes around it. It won't
Copy.
seal properly. This is an unloader. It looks like a funny looking joystick, like you want to play a video game or something.
Yeah.
Don't ever touch it. So what happens is we dial in the machine before we give it to you.
Okay.
And we have gauges. You don't have a gauge. See a gauge on top of that gun right here?
Yeah.
So we use those gauges. I'm glad they're on our side.
What is that?
Yeah.
It's Nellis Air Force Base. So this looks, it just begs you to grab it and play with it, right?
Yeah.
But what this is what it is this, it determines the pressure, but your machine's already set for a certain, and we set it for the highest. You can't get any more. So if you start goofing around with this, what you're doing is you're actually hurting yourself. And inside here, there's a little green seal. And if it gets turned, when you come in here for service, we pop this little top off and we can see in there and it's cracked. That means somebody turned it and it violates the warranty.
Oh,
So
we're not touching it.
Don't mess with this.
Red violation.
Yes, it's already tuned up. It's already as high as it's going to get.
Okay.
If you're having a pressure problem, you've got something else going on, that's not going to fix it. So just bring it in. That's
Okay.
the best option. Or, make sure that this doesn't have any debris. Make sure that you're using the correct nozzle. Don't go to Home Depot and buy different nozzles, because if it's not the right nozzle for the right machine, you will get different pressure. Okay? Everything's about angles and stuff like that. So if you use, if you use nozzles that are for a machine that's half the power, you're going to pull the trigger and go, why aren't we getting the right pressure? The motor's running, everything's...
100% makes sense.
Yeah, so use the right equipment. That's very important.
Wow.
This is an awesome piece of equipment right here. This is called a Downstream Injector, and this is how you inject your chemical. What you do is we're going to cut these right here. We're not going to do it right now, because we don't need to do it. But you cut these, and it goes right in here into your soap, this right here.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, so this just drops right in, and you can maybe take this little screen out and put like a little nut or something in there to make it heavier, right?
Okay.
Oh, cool.
And that way it'll stay in the bottom of the thing there.
Gotcha.
So what you'd want to do is put this maybe here and strap it down some way.
Yep.
Open the top and just put this in there, and then that's how your VP wand works.
Okay.
So when you're spraying the gun and you need soap, you turn that handle, it forces a siphon out of here, and the machine automatically cuts the chemical. You don't have to do any dilution at all. The machine does it for you.
Awesome.
Now, if you want, like, say you're doing something specific and you're not wanting the machine for it, you can take the chemical and put it into a spray bottle and dilute it like 9 parts water to 1 part chemical, or 8 parts water to 2 parts chemical, right? But for the machine, use the Downstream Injector, and it's called a Downstream Injector. That means it's after the machine. So the soap does not actually go through your pressure washer. It's corrosive. We don't want it to go through the pressure washer.
That's
So this is the out right here, okay? So this goes back to the hose reel, which goes out to the gun, right? So this is after the machine, so this does not go through your machine, okay? And let's go over here, and then we're gonna fire it up in a minute, but while we can still hear, I want to show you how to work this thing right here, okay? This is hot, don't touch it.
Yeah.
It's been off, that's why I can touch it. But don't, when you're going to start this, don't put your hand here, because it'll burn the hell out of you, okay?
Okay.
This is your muffler right here.
That can happen too. I can just, you're
See
getting
the-
leverage like this.
Yeah, see the little hand right there?
Yeah.
This is hot. Ganchi in Spanish. Okay? You can put your hand here if you want, whatever, but don't do that, all right? It's full of gas. We already filled it up for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things. Really, there's only one thing you need to mess with here, and this is just like any other small engine. It's simple stuff, but I just want to show you so you know, okay?
Okay.
This is your throttle. There's no reason to ever turn your throttle down, so just never ever touch this, okay?
Gotcha.
You can move the throttle over there and the engine will kind of, but that you're undercutting yourself, because then it can't perform.
No.
Just never touch that, but that's what this is. This is a throttle, just so you know what it is, but leave it alone, okay? This one here is your fuel, and it has a little gas pump.
Oh, it sure does.
You always want the fuel all the way up, so again, just leave that one alone.
Okay.
The only one you have to worry about, this is the choke. If the machine is cold like it is now,
Okay.
you would want to use the choke to start it.
Okay.
Okay? If it's already been started, but you turned it off and you're just using it again, you don't want the choke or it won't start.
Okay.
So you would leave the choke off. But when the machine is cold, you need to choke it. Yeah.
Okay.
And you have an on-off right here. If you're pulling and pulling and pulling, it's not starting, you might not have it in the on position.
Yeah, it makes sense. If it's off, it ain't gonna start.
Yes. If it's under full pressure, the machine, and you go to pull the recoil, and it goes, boom, and you can only pull about this far,
Okay.
pull the trigger on the gun, because it's under pressure and it won't let you start it.
Oh,
If you
okay.
pull it once and it doesn't start, but then you go to pull it again and it stops you like right here,
Okay.
pull the trigger on the gun.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
I think
So that means we might have left water
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
it. We didn't depressurize
Right.
it. Okay.
So if it ever, the recoil doesn't let you pull all the way out, the problem is you need to pull the trigger.
Okay.
Just keep that in mind. You go like this and it stops, the machine isn't broken, don't start messing with stuff here.
Right, like, what's going
Pull the
on?
trigger, yeah. Pull the trigger.
Okay.
And you'll be okay. So
Depressurize.
we're going to try to fire it up. You want to go grab the gun? And
Yeah,
bring it
yeah.
around this way? Okay, that's good. Okay. When
Wait.
you put the quick connect together, let me show you a couple things, all right? This is important also. Notice what I'm going to do. Put that there.
Okay.
Don't ever put that on the ground.
Okay.
Few reasons. This plastic on the outside is just to tell you what degree you're using,
Okay.
right? Which means you're going to get a wider fan or a sharper fan, like closer together. But it's metal in the middle. But what happens is you hit the ground, it starts breaking that off.
Ah.
Okay? So put it on your boot. Number two is if you get debris inside the nozzle,
Okay.
it's not going to work right. So just put it on your boot.
Gotcha.
Quick connect. Pull it back.
Okay.
Put it in there, and it needs to click.
Snap.
If it doesn't click, when you fire that up, water's going to go everywhere.
Okay.
Also, inside here,
Okay.
there's a little rubber ring.
Okay.
If that breaks
I see
or comes
it.
out,
Yeah.
what's going to happen is when you put this together, it's going to look great, and then when you fire it up, water's going to shoot out all over the place.
Okay.
You threw the ring in there. And
Ah.
you just need a new one from here. Scott can give you some before you leave if you want. They're free.
Oh, cool.
And you just use like tweezers or a screwdriver or something to pop it in. It just falls right in place.
Gotcha.
But those do break. It's just wear and tear. It's going to happen. You're going to be out one day and you're going to fire it and everything's cool, and then you're going to fire it again and water's just going to start shooting everywhere. If it's
when
just
that happens, it's
shooting
good.
out here, yeah, you're done until you get a new ring in there. You're
Gotcha.
done. You're just done.
So that's good to have backup.
Yeah. So have some.
We'll get a
backup.
little toolbox to
Yeah,
have
yeah,
little.
yeah. So you'll know because if it's shooting out in between this connection and this one, and there's water shooting out here, you threw the ring.
Okay.
And there's also one in the end, in there, which is a smaller ring.
Okay, I see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, this is super important. When you put this in here,
My mom was actually telling me about this.
it's very funny. You need to make sure it clicks. If not, what happens is when you fire it up and you go,
Okay.
it's going to be in their parking lot over
Yep.
there, and you'll never find it. Okay. So when you put this in there,
Oh my
make
god.
sure it
That's
make sure it
important.
makes the click noise, or
Okay.
you're going to be buying some new nozzles.
Like Rick.
So go ahead and hold on to that puppy.
Okay.
Remember, don't point it at anybody. Well,
Yeah.
don't point it at me.
Yeah.
And now,
Thanks, Rick.
so we're gonna put this to the on position.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm gonna choke it because it's cold.
Okay.
All right. Throttle's up 100%. Fuel is on. The only thing we're doing is choking it. When it starts, it's going to be idling a little bit low, and then I'm going to turn the choke off, and you're going to hear the motor go up in RPMs.
Okay.
Throttle, right? Watch him. Now point, look this, and pull the trigger. Ready?
Oh wow.
When the machine is off, the last thing you do is you have to pull the trigger. One is you can't unhook the hose and everything if it's under pressure. You can't.
Oh, wow.
You can't physically do it.
Okay.
You also don't want to hurt yourself or somebody else. So even though the machine's off, it's still under pressure until you release it. Okay? So go ahead and hook it in there. Make sure it snaps.
It's our surface cleaner.
This thing is awesome, okay? So what I want to have you do is this right here, and mind you, we're not using soap, and I want you to still see how clean this gets,
Awesome.
okay? So what this is inside here there's a one arm that has a nozzle on each end, and it spins around. Okay. So now when you were just using the pressure washer here,
Yeah.
to get effective work from the pressure washer, you need to be about 3 inches from your surface that you're cleaning, okay? What that means is you have a fan from your nozzle. Your fan is only about that wide, so you're 3 inches away and that wide. So what you clean with a pressure washer is about that wide, right? This is 21 inches of the same thing, okay? So you're gonna be a lot more effective and faster, and that thing just floats.
I don't know, I'm like, dude,
It's awesome.